I'm a 30-year-old male and my best friend got married last week. I just bought a house and my wife is expecting our son in November, so I let him know I was limited in what I could contribute financially, but did tell him I would try my best. So, I went to the bachelor party in Maine, I rented the tux, and paid for mine and my wife's dinner at the rehearsal dinner. I also had a gift of $300 that I was going to give them, but we will get to why I didn't give it to them. His, now wife, then fiance, texted me multiple times a day with updates fine. I didn't always respond and it got to the point where if I didn't respond at least once a day, I'd get a call from my buddy. I have a full-time job and I'm redoing some rooms in my house, so I'm busy. She texted me for the following reasons. My wife was not allowed to talk about our pregnancy, at all. She didn't want anyone to focus on that more than her, the bride. She was not going to order special food for my wife, no one asked her to. My wife was fine with whatever she was going to be served. I was not helping the groom enough. He had to help her with favors, seating charts and programs, so I had to help him with those things, according to her. She also said to get ready to help with thank you notes after the wedding. She said if I was a true best man, I would offer to pay for the bar bill. I don't even know what that means. She had to read approve my speech before the rehearsal dinner and wanted to be included as much as my buddy. She told me to make up things if I had to. I was also not allowed to include anyone but the two of them and no inside jokes or stories about my buddy that didn't include her. Her last text said to tell my wife to keep it together and not make a pregnancy scene during the wedding. Also, she wanted her to choose a dress that downplayed her pregnancy as much as possible. I was just so aggravated. I spoke to my friend to see if he could reason with her. He told me to just play ball on this one, it's her day, and to cut him a break, because he'd be dealing with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I was annoyed but calmed down. The day of, all the bride and my buddy do is scold me, berate me and bark orders. I head down to the bar for a drink. The bride's mother is there and warns me not to get drunk because I've ruined her daughter's day enough. Final straw. I didn't give them the card with the cash, and in the speech, I used my friend's exact wording about having to deal with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I wished them the best and told him I'd always be there for him, especially during the divorce. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here, bride and her mom for obvious reasons. Groom for not standing up for you, snapping at you, and for his remark about putting up with her nonsense for the rest of his life. You for making a scene at the wedding. We've been best friends for years, I love you like a brother. I'll always be here for you, come what may. I am overwhelmed with your devotion to your wife, and your dedication to making her happy. To the bride and groom. Raise glass. That's it. That's all you had to say. Your speech was probably inappropriate, but I'm going to say not the idiot based on all the horrible crap they did to you. I also don't understand the thinking of it's the bride's day. No, it's not, you're both getting married, it's just as much of an important day for the groom as it is for the bride. But, it doesn't have to be all this demanding crap that some people pull with their weddings. It's supposed to be a celebration, and that type of crap just turns it into drama and makes everyone involved miserable. Everyone's the idiot here. But honestly and unfortunately mostly you. I bet everyone, except her family, knew very well the type of disaster she was, but rather than be remembered as an intelligent man with self-control that handled it with class, you'll be remembered very much for the opposite. And even considering their absurd requests, mentioning their divorce in a wedding toast is tasteless as it gets. I, 30, come from a very poor family, but my wife is from a very rich one. She started off the marriage with a net worth of $31 million, and I started it off with $300,000 in student debt. When we got married, she made me get a prenup that separated her inheritance and got rid of my right to an elective share to it if she dies. In other words, I renounced my spousal right to a third of her separate property if she dies, making her sole beneficiaries her siblings or potential children. My debt and our incomes were also separated. We both got lawyers, hers much more expensive than mine, and notarized the prenup. None of this was a problem for me. As a man, I'm determined to pull myself up by the bootstraps, not rely on my wife's wealth for anything. The only beneficial part of the prenup for me was that our incomes were also now separate, and I earned a somewhat higher income than her, and so I was okay with it overall. 5 years later, I still don't have a seventh of her current wealth, but her investments haven't been doing great this year either. As a sole crypto investor, things have been going very poorly for her. I had warned her not to do this, but she invests in a cryptocurrency called Monero, which is down 47% this year. About 5% of her money was not in her wallet and was in the FTX exchange itself, which she lost after FTX went bankrupt recently. She now has a net worth of around $18 million. I don't invest in crypto, but rather in index funds. They've taken a hit this year as well, but based on historical performance, they should go back up eventually. No such guarantee for cryptocurrencies, and certainly not for Monero. I came home to her crying the other day after she found out that FTX went bankrupt. I told her that's rough, not in a sarcastic way, and I went upstairs to change. When I got back downstairs, she started whining and complaining, talking about how nonchalant I was being about her losing money. I pointed out that she's still extraordinarily rich in spite of her poor choices and that she could stop investing in crypto at any time if she wanted to. Besides, she was the one that wanted to separate everything, so why does she want to make it my problem all of a sudden? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Hey, she wanted to ensure in every possible way you couldn't touch her precious money. Crypto is the Wild West of investment, and if you go there, expect to be the victim of a train robbery. I am not rich. Sometimes I do wonder why some of the silliest people get money and the rest of us don't. How do people this foolish even get the money in the first place? For the record, if I had $30 million, even with a prenup, I still would offer to pay my husband's student debt as a wedding gift. You're the idiot. I'm genuinely baffled by the posts on here that are like the person who is supposed to be my partner was going through something upsetting, and I was casually cruel about it, and now they're upset and why is this my problem? It's your problem because she's your wife. Expecting some kind of empathy from you, note that she wasn't even asking you to somehow cover the losses. Just for not to be a total idiot about the fact that she's lost money isn't a wildly unreasonable expectation from a spouse. You're the idiot. You as a man? What the hell is that nonsense? You as a husband, lover, spouse, partner need to provide more comfort, attention, sympathy and support when your wife, lover, partner, spouse is going through something traumatic. I agree with you that her investment choices are poor. I wonder why she has trouble understanding, agreeing, or even listening to you, but as a man you apparently lack all ability to connect with your partner emotionally, mentally and intellectually. So today was my day off during the week, which I like to use for cleaning the house, running errands, and relaxing in the evening. So my wife and I were running errands with our 2 kids, 2 years old and 3 months, and everything was going fine. We got groceries, washed the car, and made a stop at a store about 20 to 30 minutes away from home. It's getting close to the time we have dinner, so we start heading home. As we're going home, my wife says we need to stop by a department store so she can pick up something she ordered that they ship to the store. That's fine, the store is on the way home about 15 minutes from our house. My wife assures me it'll only be like 10 minutes. That's cool. As we're driving to the store, the older child falls asleep because they didn't get their nap, so I tell her to run in and I'll stay in the car with the kids. She goes in, 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by. No prob. Maybe there's a line. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, she's still gone. I call her to see if she's okay, no answer. I call her again at 50 minutes and she says she hasn't picked the thing up because she saw something she wanted to try on, so she's been doing that. I ask her to finish up so we can go home because our kid is tired and needs dinner and bed. I wait. Still nothing. After an hour I call again and she says she's gonna be a while. Her mom showed up and they're trying stuff on. I tell her to please hurry, the car has been running, gas is expensive, and our kids are starting to wake up. Again she says she's almost done. During this time both of our kids wake up and start screaming/crying. I get the older one calmed down, but the younger is hungry and my boobs don't work that way, so I can't feed him. It's been 1.5 hours. I call her and tell her I'm leaving with the kids because they're starving and tired. She can get a ride home with her mom who lives near us. She huffs and says she's coming, so I wait another 10 minutes and she's still not there, so I leave. As I'm driving I get angry calls from her and MIL about how could I abandon my wife at the store like that? My MIL says I was an idiot and way out of line. So am I the idiot? At first I started reading the post and was determined that you would be the idiot, up until I saw your wife decided to leave you in the car with your hungry and tired children who were screaming and crying while she spent an hour and a half trying clothes on, which was not originally the plan. Your wife is an idiot for being selfish and not thinking of you and your kids. She and your MIL are the idiots here. Clearly, you are not the idiot. Not the idiot. I dunno what was going through your wife's mind thinking she can just leave you and the kids in the car. Then I saw something I like. And my mom showed up. We're shopping now bullcrap. Sounds like she was just taking advantage of you for having the kids in the car. If she knew she was gonna take longer, she should have just texted you saying to just go home and she catch an Uber. Imagine how she'd act if you did that crap to her. Your wife is definitely the idiot here. Oh, and your MIL, too. It's bad enough their selfish actions were disrespectful to you, but inconsiderate to her very young children. It's not like they were 11 to 12 years old. A toddler and an infant. Not the idiot. If she wanted to shop and chat. Your house is 15 minutes away. Maybe if she told you she was gonna shop, you could have taken the kids home, let them nap, eat whatever, and then gone and picked her up when she was ready. I get getting kids in and out of a car is a hassle, but not as bad as waiting in a car with them hungry and tired and cranky and screaming for an undetermined amount of time. I, 29, had a kid with my ex-wife, 32, 10 years ago, my daughter. And there's no real way to sugarcoat this, but as soon as she was born, I left and I never ended up seeing her in the hospital as a baby. Was never really present in her life at any point, but ended up getting a divorce 11 months later with her getting full custody, of course. I married young, was really stupid and thought I'd end up being a good dad despite no skills, but got scared that I'd turn out like my dad and chickened out. Not really an excuse, but an explanation, I guess. I paid child support for the first 3 years but stopped afterwards. I've been speaking with the girl's mother about reconnecting with her, but she thinks it's best that I stay out of their lives majorly. But I think making amends is always possible, so I'm not sure. I just really want to make things right, but I will respect their decision. I've seen her a few times, but her mother has always introduced me as a friend. She says she will tell her when she is ready. I've been dating a girl, 28, for about 10 months, and I really like her. I think I could definitely see a life for us, and I know that sounds weird, but she's also said the same. I was also speaking to my daughter's mother about meeting this girl, but she says absolutely not, and that's a bad idea. But if I want to reintroduce her into my life, isn't it fair that she gets to see my life too? Am I the idiot for this? Her mother says it's a very bad idea, so it's making me think I am, but I just genuinely cannot see why. Obviously I care for this girl and I will care for her life too. But a relationship has to be two-sided. I don't think it's out of the question to show her my life too. You are the idiot, you are not her father. You are her sperm donor. You paid support for 3 years, which means for 7 years the mother has been alone even financially. You don't get to just walk back in because you have a girlfriend you think you might be with forever. This child isn't a relationship device, she's a human being whose life and feelings matter more than you and your selfish desire for making amends. Try therapy to deal with your daddy issues before marriage and having children with this new woman. Absolutely, you are the idiot, and worse that you don't see why. You have been a deadbeat dad, and your daughter is not some accessory you can take out whenever you want to impress someone after ignoring it for years. You are saying you want to reintroduce her to your life, but you have not attempted to foster a relationship with her as her dad. Why the hell would you be introducing anyone else at this point? Not to mention all the child support you owe. If you want your ex to take you seriously, start paying up. Show that you genuinely want to get to know your daughter, not that you just want to show her off to impress your GF. I, 28, and my ex-girlfriend Mayla, 28, were together for 7 years. Mayla was obsessed with marriage. She literally had a Pinterest full of wedding ideas for years. Around year 4 of our relationship, she started outright saying that she wanted to be married and wanted to be proposed in this way or that way, and basically making plans. I told her that I would think about it. While I loved her, I wasn't sure if marriage was for me. We had an argument and she made an ultimatum. Either I propose or we break up. I didn't make a decision and she broke up with me. I realized I wanted her in my life and I proposed. My mom gave me her engagement ring, which wasn't Mayla's style or size, but she seemed happy. I started getting second thoughts and we got into a fight. Mayla took off the ring and gave it back to me. We broke up and we went our separate ways. I took that as she was giving me the ring. Mayla and my mom were close and she was invited to the wedding. Mayla is getting married to Devin, 25, who's apparently head over heels for her and bought her a $15,000 engagement ring. My mom wanted to wear her best jewelry for the wedding as it was a lavish event and asked for her ring back. I told her I wouldn't give her the engagement ring back as it was mine and I didn't want Mela to see the engagement ring that she was supposed to have since it would probably make her feel bad since she married the first guy who was there. My mom is upset. My family is calling me an idiot. My dad, who made the ring, said I was a selfish brat. I keep getting nasty emails from relatives about the situation. Am I the idiot? So you sold it already, huh? At least that's what I'm guessing. Because otherwise you'd never be so stupid as to irreparably damage the relationship with your own mother over a piece of jewelry that was never yours to begin with. Appearing to be so greedy, ungrateful and petty would be a really great way to get nothing in future. So you wouldn't be stupid enough to do that unless you'd already screwed up, right? You're the idiot. Give her the ring back or come clean and stop making silly excuses. You're the idiot. You have no use for the ring. You really think that your next girlfriend will be happy that you propose with the same ring you gave to another woman? It belonged to your mom first and you're not engaged. Also, I guarantee you Mela is not going to care about your mother wearing the ring. She's moved on and found someone who actually shares her mutual goals. You're the idiot. Traditionally, when a mother gives her child a ring to be used to propose to their intended, if the intended spouse does not agree or breaks it off, it should be returned to one's mother. The only way it would really be yours and not expected to return it, is if you'd married Mela and then divorced, and she had returned the ring to you. You're a greedy, rude idiot. That ring has actual sentimental value to your mom. She can choose to give it to you to try with someone else if you ever wanted to propose again, but you should give it back. This is one of the only instances where a gift isn't an outright gift, and you're going against custom and hurting your mom for what reason? Selfish.